And we're live. Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Today we are doing a super early live stream. It's going to last about 45 minutes or so. Maybe a little bit shorter than that. Um, let's see here. And as traditional, the way things go, I am also not as prepared, but how's everyone doing today? Excited to get into some new bottles. I haven't even cracked them open, haven't tried them yet. So I'm excited. What is going on with that? Huh. Um, Sorry, Tangeny. Haven't cracked these bottles yet. Haven't tried them, but they are two new offerings from Westward, which tickles my fancy. It's been a second since I've tried a new Westward bottle, so I'm excited because I am slowly realizing that Westward might be like my actual favorite American single malt producer. Or maybe it's just the fact that they have so many different kinds of American single malts that they're kind of one of my favorite producers just because I have so many of their bottles now. Like a lot. Like not a little. I think out of all of the ones I have, here, let me count. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So yeah, I have 7 bottles right now. One, two. So yes, Westward and Elijah Craig paired for the most amount of bottles I have at all, which is super wild. Did not realize I had so many of them, but I tend to really like them, so I guess that makes sense. Sugar Kitty Meow, cheers, nice to see ya. Oh, gotta put some background music in here. I forgot about that. Let's put in, yeah, let's do the, hope that's coming in well. Okay, I'm ready to do this. Jack on, hot as hell in here, and then let's get down to business. Yeah, I do apologize as always for being a little late and a little seemingly, I don't want to say underprepared, but underprepared's fair. It's just been a day. It's been a day. I mean, there's a reason why I'm going this early. Just got off work 15 minutes ago. Now I'm ready to drink. So, let's get into this. So, right now we have 2 different offerings that I haven't opened up yet. So we have the exclusive release, supposed to be 95 next week. Yeah, but it's a little chilly out here right now. I mean, that might just be me complaining, but it's like 65 outside. I wasn't really ready, I had to go take out the trash and I was like, I'm going to put on a little jacket. So I have 2 releases. So I have their new rum cask finishing, which I believe is going to be another one of the mainstays, just like the Pinot Noir and the stout finish. And then I have a Chardonnay cask finish one that is a limited release from them from their club. So this rum cask one is going to be 50%, so 100 proof, and the Chardonnay cask is going to be 90 proof. So I'm going to start off with the Chardonnay casks. Actually, you know what? We're not going to willy-nilly jump into a review. I'm going to get a Glencairn. I'm going to try their normal offering, kind of start the palate up, crank up the gears a little bit, and then we'll get right into it. So the rum usually imparts more sweetness. Yeah, that's usually what I see. Like sweetness, maybe some tropical-esque fruity notes, but that might be stretching. Really depends cask to cask, though, for being honest. Yeah, is anyone drinking yet today? I know it's super early. It's literally 3:21 right now. Like I'm cool. Oh, sorry. Spacey. Oh, chilly. Monday was 29 to oof. Yeah, it's been windy, so it kind of we got up there in heat and then the wind just kind of cooled things down really low, but like Hangen said, it's about to get hot out. I'm cool with rum finish, but Chardonnay, get a minivan already. Yeah, I don't know what to expect with the Chardonnay. Like the Chardonnay could be good, could be bad. I'm leaning probably bad, but we will see. Which, by the way, despite having nothing to do with how amazing of a whiskey brand Westward is, they got some of the dopest labeling and bottling. I mean, that's probably the main reason I tried them in the first place. That, and I found out they're an American single malt, and then, oh man, it was off to the races after that. Earlier for me, just got back from dog walk. While hanging, start drinking. Yep, finishing wine in a whiskey barrel. Yeah, I've seen that before. I've seen like bourbon finish like red wines and stuff. I've never had any of them. I love beer finish or beer finished in bourbon barrels or stout casks finished. Man, those are fantastic. Some of the best beer I've ever had. Yeah. It's a little bit too light outside to be drinking a beer like that, but man, I want to go out to Total Wine and buy one now after this. But oh man, there's all sorts of smudges on this glass. Need to get better at hand washing stuff. Let's try off the normal offering of Westward, which is, man, it's just like a fruit cocktail with this nice like chocolatey malt. Stout finish whiskey, any good? I've had a few, and I'll be 100% honest. I don't really think the stout like beer finishing really does much of anything. I don't know. I've never had one that's blown my mind. It always just seems kind of not like a useless finish, but it just doesn't do as much as other finishes do, which is where I'm kind of thinking the Chardonnay is going to do. I can't imagine a Chardonnay cask is really going to impart too much on a bolder spirit. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Nice. Stone fruit, peachiness. Nice, sweet, crisp vanilla, honey crisp apple, and some nice like chocolatey-ish like malt. This is a great sipper. I think I need to do a video of that someday where it's like just doing a flight of all of the like 90 proof main American single malt producers products against each other to figure out what's the best one. I mean, I think I have my two favorites. Oh, man, I don't know. It's so dependent. Like Westland and Westward, love those, and I really like the Balcones and I really like Del Bach. So it's kind of hard determination of which one's better, but I don't know. Seemingly my buying habits like Westward a lot. Like a lot. And it might just be because they have so many different kinds of finishings and stuff that I am, without hesitation, I'm buying all of it. All of it. By the way, is this being crisp? I feel like that is not focused. Oh. There we go. Kinda. Close enough. I've had High West double rye finish in a white wine, Fume Blanc, and it had no trouble making a big impact. Really? Well, that makes me more excited because I love wine finish stuff, but I don't know. This one doesn't really scream like I'm gonna expect anything crazy or off the wall. But the Pinot Noir finish one added a lot of red fruit to their flavor profile, so I'm excited to see what this one does. I mean, they don't even need to finish this whiskey for me to like it, which is a huge win. It's so much better that way. Alrighty, so this is here. Let me see if I can read off of the sheet here. So this is 100% malted barley, distilled August 2017, distilled in 2017. So that would be what, 6 years? Oh, there we go. It says aged 4 years in new American oak, and then 15 months in toasted French oak. And toasted French oak that had Chardonnay in it, maybe? No, wait, what the hell? Bear with me. Ignore literally everything I just said. Chardonnay cask. Yeah. What the heck? That does not make any sense. Oh, barrel proof was what? Here, I gotta read this, guys. I clearly was not as prepared as I thought. And I didn't think I was very prepared, so. Okay, yeah, so it was 15 months in French oak that had Chardonnay in it. And the barrel proof version of this would be 124.26, but this is bottled at 90 proof. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Got real confused there. I was reading off the pamphlet and I was like, that's not making much sense. Sorry about that. Westward bottle reminds me of Starward from Down Under. I can see that. They do have similarities. Yeah, like Westward is very geometrical, where Starward is very like kind of spacey. Like it's very oh man, I'm drawing a blank on what that's called where you're into space stuff. Where you like the oh man, I am all out of things here. Bear with me. I got to do something. There we go. I don't see so ridiculously blown out. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay. Astronomical. Thank you, Sugar Kitty. Thank you. Like I said, it's been a weird day, a weird week. So I'm a little bit on the out of it side. So thank you for helping me out with that one. Yeah, my mind's not quite firing on all cylinders right now. The rye was typically MGP to start, then it shifted entirely to grapes and tartness back to oak rye spice, like a rye bread sandwich with grapes. Oh, like kind of like a grape jellied. Oh, that sounds awesome. Like that would be weird, but like a rye bread grape jelly sandwich. Interesting. Okay, well, I need to get into this. Interesting for sure, although not for everyone. I didn't mind it at all. Well, that's fair. Okay, so basically 4 years in American oak, 15 months in toasted French oak that had Chardonnay in it. It is 90 proof, and I don't know the price point. Gatito de... I think these are all around like 80 though. 80 to 90. Ooh, hello there. There's some pepperiness that wasn't in the man, I really gotta clean these Glens. Or Agent Or. So recently I got one of those things, or I installed one of those things that they have in bars where you like flip the glass up and you push down on it and it sprays up the water. Um, and I've been doing that to clean out my glasses. The only issue is it never cleans like the outside of it. And I've been just kind of like drying them off on the inside and then putting them away. Sorry, no, super tangenty. Yeah, there's this pepperiness to it. This little bit of added like pepper as well as this like grapes. It has this grapey influence in there. Gatito. It's only humans that have problems with English. Yeah, that's very true. And I can't speak cat either. When my cat looks at me and he's meow, I can't decide if he's like, hey, I want water, I want food, I want you to let me outside without the dog so I can go explore, I want pets. I don't get it. And then he just bites me and walks away. So that's my life. Man, it's fun to have the original to compare things to and kind of see where like so it's French oak and Chardonnay because it was a French oak barrel that had Chardonnay in it. I just hand wash my whiskey glasses safer that way for me after I chip my crystal cut wood for glass. Yeah, that's fair. Well, like the little like sprayer thing, it's like safe and stuff, and it's not like putting it in a dishwasher or anything. It's just it, you know, I just left this one there to dry last night, and it for sure has some like handprints and some sort of like sedimentary stuff on the outside. The inside's 100% clean. It's just the outside. I did finally get a Glen from Bourbon Bar. Hanging. Whenever you come over, I'll give you a Glen for mine, from me. Words. So yeah, you should come over. Armin is thinking he doesn't want all of that's fair. That's fair. He wants everything. He wants to go outside where I can pet him and he can feel the fresh air and the wind on his skin, as well as bring out his food bowl and his water bowl. I'm just worried because since I live in a townhouse, there's a bunch of neighborhood cats because it's, Mesa and stuff. So I feel like I'm worried that one of these days I'm going to let him outside on his own and I'm going to leave him out there for like 30 minutes. And one of the neighborhood cats is going to come over there and punk him because he's not really a cat that's going to stand up for himself very well. Yeah, there is some heavy, like, grapiness to it and this like nice like peppery spice characteristic. I'm getting like raisins as well, not so severely. So like the Westland sherry wood finish stuff, I get like boozy raisins, and that's kind of like you mixed in a few raisins, kind of like trail mixed out the mash bill almost. Because there's like some like dried grape raisiny type characteristics, but it's not like full on just like it's just straight booze filled raisins like those are. There is that nice characteristic, that like malty smell too. Took Pepper the pug for a 3 mile walk. Those little legs were going to town. Race her in a pug truck. Little tiny pug races. That would be ridiculously cute. I would be 100% into them. At least that would be. Oh. All right, let's get this in my mouth. Ooh. Oh. Hello. I was not expecting that. Mid palate, there's this really nice, like, vibrance, like, kind of like citrusy characteristic. Like it. So here, let's compare. So it starts off malty, then becomes like kind of fruity, and then grows malty. Has a nice sweetness the whole way through. Like that's just an underlying characteristic. But like this, there's this nice peppery malt, like this black pepper, maltiness, sweetness initially. Then it kind of transitions away from that maltiness to that fruity characteristic, but it's like a citrus and stone fruit. Like citrus, stone fruit, and then that like raisiny type thing. Mm. Man, oh man. That is interesting. There's so much more going on in this one than the original though. Like hands down, this is cranked up to another level. I need to compare this to the Pinot Noir because I really like that about the Pinot Noir finish one because it really like gave it a lot more of a red fruity characteristic on top of that already stone fruit, where this is really like I'm getting that raisin characteristic and a nice burst of citrus. So it's really kind of invigorating it. And it's very fitting for like spring. Like this is a spring single malt. Yeah. Like I just recently got back into the Stellum barrel proof or the Stellum, yeah, just normal like cash strength rye one. And that has a lot of citrus in it. I really like that rye. I need to start drinking it more. It's been a probably like a month or so. Raisins, figs, and dates are all typical influences from sherry. That and some type of sherry have an almond taste. Okay, that makes sense. Sherry always tastes salty to me. No, I'm really liking this. So I think there's a lot going on. Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know the price point on this. That being said, I would buy it. I think the original ones are at like 90, like the typical we'll call it like the Pinot Noir finished, the stout finish one. I'm sure this rum cast one's going to be at the like 80 to $90 that you typically see these at. I would buy this one for that. I would have like one on hand. I don't know if I'd buy backups because it's not like an insane value by any means, but it's still a really interesting whiskey. And I really like the fact that they are doing some finishing that you typically don't see even in whiskey, as well as finishings you definitely don't see in the American single malt world, because I don't see a lot of finishings, at least as like standard offering products in the American single malt world. And maybe that again is why I'm such a fanboy of them and I have so much of their stuff, is just because there's so many different variances of it. And I love being able to compare like their standarding offering with other different offerings, like the Chardonnay cask. The Chardonnay definitely made a really good impact and really brought a lot of life to it. Added that citrus note was so, I don't want to say redeeming, but it was so like elevating. It really elevated it a lot. But let's get into the rum cask finish because we got 20 minutes. So I'm going to pour this, let this sit for a sec, and then we will talk about it. I can only imagine I'm likely going to be a buy on this one as well, because I have not disliked a single one of their products that I've ever had. I've had one pick from them, like a really old pick with their old branding where it wasn't in the geometry bottles, that I didn't really like love, but I still liked it, and I ended up getting it for like 75 bucks, so it was such a steal for their kind of stuff anyways. So, I mean, you can't complain getting an American single malt for that price point. Um, I like port now and again, but not a sherry drinker. I'm not really that's something I need to do. All these things that people are finishing stuff in, I really need to try those products to begin with. Like, I don't think I've ever had sherry. I don't think I've ever had sherry before. I've definitely had some Chardonnay. Like, that's, minivan driving type stuff. Dated a few minivan looking people in my time. Um, what else? Stouts. I've for sure had stouts. I for sure had Pinot Noirs. That's used to be like my favorite type of red wine. Um, I feel like there's something else. What's another like primary dominating finish? Ooh, excuse me. Cheers, Four Leaf. Nice to see ya. We'll drink all the sherry finished whiskey. Yes, same. Sherry finished whiskey is by far my favorite kind of finished whiskey. Hands down, without hesitation. Okay, so last one. I'm going to read this here book. Okay, so it's 100% malted barley, and it's 100 proof. Well, they didn't give me any sort of age statement stuff. Flavorful whiskey and results of carbonation like mine. That's all propaganda type stuff. Our barrel aging process. So age of Westland is an additional year. Oh, okay. So this is a delicious rum and our barrel aging partner. And these for an additional year. So this is the same as a normal offering, but it is aged for an additional year, as well as it is also 100 proof compared to the 90 proof. So I'm actually really excited about this because I love higher proof stuff. You guys know me. You know me. Like this is my jam over here. Port, cognac, rum, red wine. I like cognac, red wine, rum I'm kind of about, and port I'm kind of about, or at least for bourbon. I like port with like malts, things of that nature. But with bourbon, I feel like bourbon is so aggressive and port is so aggressive that they're so bold that they kind of start fighting each other almost. I mean, at least again, in my opinion. I still think finished whiskey uses inferior barrels. Well, I mean, not always. Like sometimes it could be like, hey, let's see what happens to our stuff when we do this. So, like for example, this rum cask finish that I just read on. This is their normal standarding whiskey that's in here, but it's aged for an additional year in a rum barrel to then become this. So I wouldn't say it's always inferior stuff. Like maybe they're just trying different kinds of, finishings. Not saying that everyone is doing that because, I'm sure they're, finishing some booty juice as well. But I feel like a lot of people who do double oaking also kind of does that too. Maybe it's just I feel like that's a bigger thing with craft whiskey. When you start moving away from craft whiskey, I feel like a lot of the producers, they have so much stuff that it doesn't really like matter. Like they can blend all their booty juice in to like their normal offerings, no problem. Because when you start adding 300 barrels together, you're not going to notice that one barrel that just kind of like doesn't quite do it. So, word for word on the Teeling. Oh, Four Leaf. I tried Teeling small batch the other day. Didn't really care for it. Did not really care for it. It was very just sweet, easy, kind of metallic-y. I think they use the worst barrels that could not stand on their own. I mean, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to do that either. I would just also me trying to actively not be a pessimistic person. I'm kind of hoping that they're also maybe I know they or I would assume that they probably wouldn't use their top-notch barrels, like their honey barrels or whatever, the barrels they want to release as single barrels. But I still think they wouldn't like just throw out garbage like that. Or maybe it was not a great barrel and then they finished it and then it became something good. I would assume that no one's releasing a product that they think is garbage. But, I've seen that before too. Ooh. This has some like sweetness to it. It lost a lot of that like malty density on the nose. It's a lot more bright, very kind of almost getting to the floral aspect for me now. Hanging, you're talking about how Finnish whiskey's booty juice, and then you're talking about how you like the standard offering of Bushmills. Come on, buddy. Come on. Unless if Teeling small batch is sweet, just another budget alternative to Jameson. Yeah. Is standard offering of Bushmill supposed to be like a good bottle? Again, I've had that before and I know I do not care for it. Yeah, this got very, very sweet though. I wish I knew what kind of like a serious amount of information on it. I don't know. No Redbreast. Four leaf. I'll take your Redbreast 27 if you don't want it anymore. Yeah, this just got very, very sweet, like caramely type butterscotch flavors, and then it has this nice like floralness to it. Still has a bit of almost like a peach characteristic still, but it's really gotten toned back and everything got like bright. It got like lighter, brighter, more, I guess I could say like maybe shinier almost. So four leaf. Again, obviously, all my comments are from the direction of a bourbon drinker or like an American single malt drinker. I also really do like Scotch, but I just can't afford to drink the kind of Scotch I like. I think that's kind of why I got really heavy into single malt, like American single malts, is because it's kind of like our take on it, and our take fits my interest in the world of Scotch better. So think it's a huge win. But where would you put like the Bushmills, like the standard offering Bushmills in kind of comparison to? I'll say probably my favorite is just like for like a cheaper sipper of Irish whiskey would be like Green Spot. I like Green Spot. I think it is super easy, super sweet, but there's no weird metallic-y kind of like funkiness to it, because I always get like a metallic-y funkiness to Jameson. I got it on the Bushmills. It's not Talisker. No, not Buskers. There's another Irish whiskey label that I've tried that I didn't really care for. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting off tangent. Ooh. Oh, that peach. It's like sweet peach. It's it has this nice little like malty background, like this that so it kind of lost the chocolatey, really cranked up the sweetness, that vanilla, that butterscotch, and then kind of put the maltiness on the background, and it's just very, very sweet peaches. Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Yeah, that is just like peach Lollapaloozas. It's just like, if I edited this, I could just put like the booty emojis like raining down from the sky or whatever, because that's what it tastes like to me. I like it. It's so different than all of the other offerings. And I love the mouthfeel on this because it's that higher proof. There's a little bit more viscosity, a little bit more intensity to all of the flavors going on. So that like that peach is bold. Even the malt going on in the background is still bold. It's intensified. Bushmills Classic is well below Green Spot. That is a $20 blended whiskey versus okay. Well, I like Green Spot. Okay. Yeah, I got Green Spot, I got Redbreast 12. I still haven't bought anything else in the world of Irish. Just because I think Irish to me is also the same way I am with like Scotch and Japanese whiskey. Like all the stuff I would personally really enjoy, I can't afford to enjoy it. Like, not, I don't know. Like, it's not the same way for me. Because American whiskey, I can drink that stuff. Like, I can afford to drink it. But, like the scotches and stuff, usually that higher proof, like 100 proof offerings or whatever from Scotch are usually $100 each, and I cannot afford to drink $100 bottles. Some Green Spot, Quayla's Gate. It's a new Pinot Noir finish. Peaches come from a can. No, no, no. They come from trees, right? They're furry. That's one thing that does not like I don't like peaches or the outside layer of peaches because I like the flavor of peaches, but I don't like the outside skin of it because it's furry, as well as like kiwis because kiwis have like this like fur to it. It freaks me out when like fruit has like hair on it. It shouldn't be like that. Yeah. This is just very, very sweet. This honestly would be a really, really good kind of transitional American single malt. And by transitional, I mean like a, trying to get a Scotch drinker into whiskey or American single malts, or maybe even you know, a bourbon drinker in a way. Because it really does crank up that sweetness, but there are still those like American single malt, the types of flavors I get off of this. They're just toned down in the background. There's a nice brown sugar, molassesy, but then there's that nice like caramel, vanilla, butterscotch. It's very bold and in your face. That is, I like that. I do think I like the Chardonnay cask a little bit better, but I still do really like this. I think this again is going to be another one of those buys for me. Just like the Chardonnay cask, I think it's one of those ones where it's like you buy one and when you're done with it, you replace it. Like I'm not going to bunker any of these or whatever, because even if they do become limited, I mean, me personally, I don't see a whiskey in the world that if for whatever reason I finish it and it's no longer buyable, I'm going to lose my world and everything's going to fall apart. So I just don't really bunker things to begin with, unless if like I'm just buying multiples because it's a really good deal or it's something that's harder to find. But yeah, I like both of these a lot. No idea even who that is. I feel like I know a song from the president. Yeah, I feel like I freaking do. I'm staying alone. Oh man. Is that lump by let me see. Yeah, the lump set alone in it. Yeah, that song. Yeah, lump. Yeah, okay. I do know one song from them actually. That's lump. Yes. There we go. No idea. They were what? Was that like a late 90s, early 2000 band? Because I that 100% was like a song that kind of, or maybe more like 90s rock. Yeah, I feel like their vibes more 90s rock. Saw them live. Built a bunker for some of my Dunvalet. Dune Villes Bus. I mean, if I could afford, so I say that in the sense of I don't do it, so I don't get behind it, but it's not like I don't do it because I'm against the concept or the idea of doing it. I say that because I am not financially stable enough in order to do it. Yeah, because so I was born 97, so a lot of the music growing up was like that early 2000s alternative rock, kind of like Linkin Park, things of that nature. And that's kind of like Green Day, who else am I thinking? Was Blink 182 in that same era? I feel like, yeah, those were like kind of bands growing up, and that was kind of on the tail end of like kind of the more later stuff that was still a little hip, still a little cool, Like obviously I listen to some older stuff as well, but yeah. Okay, Stacy. So we're in the same world. Yeah, I buy whatever at this point. I pretty much buy whatever the channel makes, and that's about it. One of these days they're going to name Stacy's house. They're going to annex it. All right. Bourbon Notes going live in 2 minutes. So, quick rundown. Westward's the shit. They make really good American single malts. I'm a huge fan of their stuff. It's no surprise. I'm a buy on all these. And of course I have some bias. Of course I have a bias to them. But I think I'm a buy on everything. Just because I think they do some of the most innovative stuff in the world of American single malts. And I think they are probably one of the best and shining examples of what the American single malt subsection of whiskey can do. So I really like everything they do. So go out there. If you're looking to try some American single malts, go out there, buy some, try some. You won't be disappointed. Especially their just simple, normal offering, like their base offering. Still a really, really good pour. Really good American single malt. And don't bottle on your shelf. Like worst case scenario, you don't like it, you can empty it out, send me the whiskey. You can like send me it in like another bottle. I don't really care. And you could just fill it back up and have this cool little geometry bottle on your shelf. That being said, again, I am closing things up today. So go, subscribe, leave a comment, like this video, and then go over to, the Bourbon Note, because they will be going live here they're live right now, or should be live. So go over there, subscribe, comment, like their video, let them know that I sent you. Cheers, y'all. We'll see you later. Hopefully for a longer video next week. Hopefully.